Hi guys, Jill here, and I had told you that I was working on these masks for my altar trading cards for the Swap at Your Paper Pantry, and that I was working on a background. This is the background I came up with. It's a little bit more muted colors, not muted, but like the green's not a bright green, the purple's not a bright purple, because I still want this mask to stand out. And look at my hands. So I'm going to show you the technique I used. This is one that Tim Holtz does. It was originated at Ranger. It's called, oh geez, I don't even know what it's called. Wrinkle Free Distress. So this one I enhanced a little bit with a stamp, and I'll show you that part to get the more defined dots. But this is a really fun technique. You can't be afraid to get your hands dirty, and you have to be patient with it because you're not going to get the same results every time. Like here's one, and then one of the times I got this. And that's a great background, but not for what I need. And then the purple got a little odd, so you know, every time it comes out different. Here's one that's almost dry with the mask on it, and the mask is going to go here. So see how that's going to stand out. Okay, so let me put the ones I've already done aside. Of course, I'm working on top of a non-stick craft sheet. I'm using some altar trading cards that I just bought pre-cut. They were pretty cheap somewhere. I've had them around for a long time. I'm also using a re-inker. You can use a distress ink pad also and just tap it on. But I'm looking for kind of like dots of the green, so I'm using a re-inker. This is Adirondack Meadow. And then I'm also using my Perfect Pearl Mist. This is Sunflower Sparkle, and the gold in this is unbelievable. You can see how gold it is, and then you can imagine in person. Okay, so you want to give those a good shake. Then you're going to come in with your meadow and just add a few dots to your non-stick craft sheet. And any re-inker works. This is a dye-based re-inker. They move around better. Like I said, your distress inks, they work great. Your pigment inks aren't going to move the same. But they can work, it's just you're not going to get as the same kind of movement. So I'm actually getting close and spraying into the dots. And I want a lot of gold, and see how that moves it around. Okay, so remember, your first one isn't going to be your best. It's not always going to come out right away because not all the color goes where you want it. So see, let's let that move around and then just start smushing it back in. And if you're looking for a different part of color, then go into that section. Let's put down a little more gold. Not quite enough gold on here. And I like to let it pool around the edges, see? Because that's edging it for me. So there we go. And a little more green. So see, you just play around. See how it's got those dots of color? Okay, let's set that aside. Let's do another one because you'll just add a few more drops, a little more gold. Got a bunch of these to do, so might as well show you how they all come out. See, look how that one's got that nice dark green up there. And I tap in little sections. And see, you can get that splotchy look. And then I kind of pull some of that color from the outskirts. And look how that gives me even more gold. And let's do some of that pooling on the edges. Let's see. Okay. So, at this point, I like to keep the green down. But if you want more distinct color, wipe it up when you feel you should. Let's do another one. This technique is so much fun. Look at that. It smushed out some. And then as it starts to dry, then you can, like I said, as it dries on the mat, you can pick up little dots of color. And depending on how muddled you want it, will, see, I like it kind of muddled on this one because, again, I'm looking for the background to fade, but I want that gold. Let's add some more gold. And I hope I'm on screen here. Let me look. Yeah. Okay. And see, it seems like a mess, but it's really not. I like that one. Okay. So, let me wipe my hands. I'm going to set this aside. So I'm actually going to get off the really big chunks of stuff. Just hot dog. Hamburger buns, okay, sweetie? We're getting ready for dinner. He's going to go pick up some hamburger buns for us. That was my husband. Okay, so I had my small craft sheet on top of my large craft sheet. And again, you don't have to have that, obviously. So let me just pull in a white sheet of paper that I kind of keep around. Here is the first one that we did. So I'm going to come in with Victorian Violet Brilliance and one of my favorite stamps ever, Splatter It Up from Posh Impressions. And unfortunately, I don't know the current, but they did retire the stamps. So that's how I'm going to get my purple, because if I do the purple and the green together, you all know with color theory, you'll get brown. And that just gives that little look of confetti. And like I discussed before, you know, Mardi Gras, purple, green, and gold. And you can do these when they're wet. But that's your traditional Mardi Gras colors. And again, you could go with the bright green, bright purple for your background. But it's really going to compete with your actual mask if you do something like that. So just always keep that in mind when you're designing a background. And I love making my own backgrounds. That's one of the things that I've done for years. Okay, so like I said before, here's what you come up with. Then I just stamp the mask again, kind of to enhance that. And then I was going to put like a loose edge on it, but I'm actually going to use my gold marker. Oh my gosh. My fingers must be distracting. Let me make sure I'm in screen here. And I'm not. Sorry, guys. Okay, so now that I'm in screen, I'm going to edge this with the gold marker. Let me put my top on the re-inker before that goes everywhere. I had tried the smooch in conjunction with all this, and I really didn't like it. Not that I didn't like it for this use. Okay, so the gold marker is going to give a definite edge to this, and I always like to do that. So what I do is I hold my paper down. This one's a drier one. And I set it at an angle. You can see in my hand here, it's at an angle. And I pull down towards me, and this one's almost empty, putting more pressure on that background piece of paper. I might have to get a new one out. I keep these. And see that nice fine line, and it comes out perfect as opposed to picking up your piece of paper and trying to outline that. To me, that gets frustrating. So see, again, just pulling towards me, more pressure on the background paper than where I want that perfect little gold edge. So see how that just frames that out? So we are getting there. And I did pick up some gems. And I'm going to put that on foam tape. I think I really lucked out. Gosh, my wallet. Just, babe, So see, like right here, I think a clear one in there might look really cool. And they had these at Michael's, and they're from the Christmas section. And they were one of those 1-cent items, and they had to pull them off the shelf. But she said that since I brought them up there, the manager okayed me to have these. So not all the cards are going to be the same because I only got 1 pack, but I think that these are going to fit in really nicely along with some of the star bling I've picked out. So we'll have another video where I'll show you how I finish this and if there's any cool techniques I think you might want to know. So there you have it. That's part 2. And thanks for watching and have a great day.